For joining us for the Rialto Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education. Agenda for September the 27th, 2023 at the Dr. John Casaluma Educational Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Board member present, Stephanie Lewis, President, Mr. Joseph Martinez, Clerk, Ms. Evelyn Dominguez, Board Member, Mr. Edgar Montez, Board Member. Okay, Superintendent Dr. Avila. Any individual who required disability-related accommodations or modification, including auxiliary aids and services, in order to participate in the board meeting should contact the superintendent or designee in writing. Opening call to order at 6:01, open session. For our closed session, as provided by law, the following items for discussion and consideration at the closed session of the board meeting is public employee, employment, discipline, dismissal, release, reassignment of employees, Government Code Section 54957, student expulsions, reinstatement, expulsion enrollments, conference with labor negotiator, agency designated representative, Dr. Avila, lead personnel agents, Ms. Rhonda Kramer, Ms. Roxanne Dominguez, and Mr. Armando Utega. Personnel services. Employee organizations, California School Employee Association, Chapter 203, CSEA, Rialto Education Association, REA, Communication Workers of America, CWA. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D and or D3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure litigation, number of potential claims, 1. Comments on closed session agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any items on a closed session agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We do not have any.
Okay, do we have a motion to move into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, Ms. Dominguez.
Aye.
Mr. Montez.
Aye.
Clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And President Lewis, aye, and time is 6:03. Okay, we're going to rewind. Do we have a motion to close out of adjournment out of closed session?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Oh, okay. Ms. Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And Lewis, aye, and the time is 7:15. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. And tonight, we have Métis Vesquez, Casero Middle School, 7th grader. Hey, welcome. Would you be so honored to lead us in a pledge?
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, thank you so much. Casero Middle School has a brand new choir this year. Tonight they're here to perform a song that embodies peace, love, and joy. Help me to welcome Principal Miss Hillary the choir teacher, and they will be singing and performing Everlasting Melody. beautiful. I was getting my and worship on up in here. That is so wonderful. Thank you so much, students. Thank you, families, for attending and bringing. It wouldn't be impossible without you. This is so exciting.
It does have an earworm, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. Keep spreading the peace, love, and joy. Woo! Go Coyotes! Hey, as we
Settle in.
transition, Janita. Yes. Feel the joy. Well, we are honored tonight to have San Bernardino County Board of Education, Dr. Gwen Downey Rogers, Member Trustee Area D. Yes, would you like to, yes, come up to the podium? And Jonita Moore, the Public Affairs and Community Engagement Representative for CSBA, will follow.
So thank you so much. I am not going to sing, but I would like to sing after all of that. It is just such a pleasure first to be here. As promised before, it's long overdue, and I wanted to come today and just be here among you all and to also say thank you. But first, I want to say to the esteemed Board of Education, we appreciate the work that you all do. It is not easy. We know that. I know personally myself. And to President Lewis, you are out there all the time, and I see the work that you are doing as well. And to my friend, and to Dr. Avila, who is here doing the work and leading the charge, I so appreciate you. But also I appreciate our community. I appreciate our parents. I appreciate our teachers. I appreciate our classified staff and everyone that stay in the trenches supporting our scholars. If it wasn't for you all, our scholars would not be able to do what they do, and that is to excel and be able to be here for a period of time and then move forward. So I personally wanted to thank you. I know you work tireless hours trying to do what needs to be done for education, but education is important to me, and I know it's important to you, and certainly I'm a forever parent, so I know that we have to collaborate and we have to work together. I also want to say it's long overdue for me to also celebrate what happened at Cove as well. Being a school to watch is very important. That means something is happening and being modeled for others around to be able to do that same thing. So I applaud you all. That doesn't come easy to be able to recognize on a national level. That's something to applaud and to appreciate. And so I thank you all. I want to say to you, if there's anything that I ever can do on behalf, and maybe some of you don't know me, but I am Dr. Gwen Downey Rogers from the County Board of Education, and I serve your area. I serve your area along with Snowline, Joint Unified, as well as San Bernardino Unified. And when I say serve, that means if you need me, call. So I'm going to just leave you with this. I see all that great stuff you're doing. Invite me. I want to come out and do some of that great stuff too with you. But I applaud your work, and we want to continue to work together and make sure that our scholars make it all the way to the top. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, Board President Stephanie Lewis and the esteemed members of the board. My name is Jonita Moore. I am your Region 16 CSBA PACER. Like she said, if you don't know, a PACER is a Public Affairs and Community Engagement Representative, which means I am in the community doing things with you all. I'm at school sites, I'm at school board meetings, but I'm also on the ground in Sacramento making sure that your board members can advocate for the students and the teachers in Sacramento and on a national level. So thank you so much. So I am somebody who you can call if you have questions about policy, you have questions about legislators, or if you want to meet with a legislator. I'm pretty sure I've seen at least one of you in a recent meeting with Senator Portantino. He loves meeting school board members. A little bit about me. I am actually a product of the Rialto Unified School District. Thank you so much. So thank you to you and the work that you're doing. Obviously.
Wait, what school?
Rialto High School, class of 03.
All right.
I was once a student in Frisbee Middle School choir singing.
Did you say Frisbee?
Yeah.
All right.
and a young musician. I've actually got to travel all over the world playing music because of the wonderful instruction that I received via the Rialto Unified School District. So I appreciate that. I served both San Bernardino and Inyo counties. They gave me the two biggest counties because they knew I could handle it. Yep. And I have always been an advocate for this community because, like I said, this is my community. I'm happy to be here. I served as an educator for 10 years in San Bernardino. I was an event and business consultant, and right before, CSBA actually captured me just as I finished a campaign for a judge that we now serve. He was a public defender. He's one of the very few public defenders who's actually been appointed judge. And before that, he was a school board member, just like you guys. So you never know the connections that you can make. So call me, just like Dr. Gwen said, I'll be around. I'm happy to show up to your events. I met with some folks from Rialto recently because they won a Golden Bell Award, so congratulations on that. I know I'm not supposed to say that yet, but. We got it. So thank you for the work that you do, and I look forward to working with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tell you, Rialto Unified School District graduates are everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. And thank you so much, Dr. Rogers. Gwen Down, we just appreciate you. You have an open standing invitation. All righty. So, public comments.
Actually, report out of closed
Report
session.
out of closed session. Thank you so much, Mar. I got carried away with the song and the introduction.
We have one. The Board of Education accepted the request for an unpaid leave of absence for classified employee number 2541424 from October 1st, 2023 through April 1st, 2023. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Okay, thank you. Public comments not on the agenda. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any items not.
Board President, I'm making a motion that we adopt the agenda as is, unless there's any changes.
Second.
Okay, should we go back and sing that song again?
I think so,
I
yes.
think we should sing the song. It's in my head. I was getting my clap on. Okay, so adoption of agenda, and we go ahead and accept.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All righty. I just love this team up here. And we're going to have our student board member, Kane Galazzo. Your
Aye.
vote.
Aye.
Okay. Board member Dominguez.
Aye.
Board member Montez.
Aye.
And board clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And Stephanie Lewis, aye. I'm just so ready for these comments. I can't wait to hear from our wonderful teachers and families. Do we have any presentations? Just
No
wanna make sure.
presentations.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
First, we have Shannon McCrae.
Just a reminder, 3 minutes. We'll be granted 3 minutes.
My name is Shanna McCrite, and I've been a teacher at Myers Elementary for 31 years. At the last board meeting, I spoke to you about the standards-based grading report card that we are currently being told to implement at the elementary level. I expressed many concrete reasons why we should not be implementing this report card this year. Some of the reasons that I listed were, first, that there was never a proper full-year pilot of the report card last year, and that the pilot teachers and parents never actually saw or used the report card that we are using this year. Second, the current report card is asking us to grade every child on every standard, and even those standards that we have not taught yet. I've now heard that they are going to gray out some of these standards, but it is week 8 and the teachers still do not know which standards will be grayed out. Third, we were never properly trained on this report card. The trainings were simply to explain why we were doing standards-based grading, but never how we are doing it. Last, there is no place for students to receive a grade showing that they are advanced. Because I didn't hear any response from you during the board meeting comments or by email, I decided to conduct a simple survey among the elementary teachers in our district. I asked 2 simple questions. Do you feel adequately prepared to implement the standards-based grading report card this year? And if you answered yes, would you be willing to pilot that report card? The survey results were staggering. Out of 342 elementary teachers surveyed, 312 of them do not feel adequately prepared to implement this current report card. Only 30 of the elementary teachers surveyed felt adequately prepared to implement this report card. We are 8 weeks into the school year, and a large majority of our well-educated, certificated, and credentialed teachers are saying that they are not prepared to complete this report card this year. After the survey was complete, I emailed each board member as well as Dr. Lynn and Dr. McIver-Gibbs. I would like to thank Mr. Martinez for taking the time to email me back, and Dr. Lynn for responding to my email and even talking to me about this matter over the phone. Despite these conversations, I still feel that based on the survey results of 312 teachers who feel inadequately prepared to implement this report card, something needs to be done about it now. It is not too late to turn this year into a true pilot year. I have given you the email addresses of teachers that are willing to pilot. If we change this year to a pilot, those pilot teachers will be able to state the pros and cons of this report card, and the parents of those students in the classrooms will as well. Also, the rest of the elementary teachers will be given an appropriate amount of time to make this transition and truly become adequately prepared for this change. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Paula Bailey.
Good evening, President Lewis, board members, cabinet viewing audience. My name is Paula Bailey. I've lived in the city since January of 2001. Yes, that puts me a longtime resident. Numerous kids that have gone through the school district. I've seen the initial parent summit. It was amazing then, and it's still amazing now. Great speakers and guests. I loved seeing all the schools come together. My question tonight is, why was Rialto not at the parent summit that was held by county schools on Saturday at Cal State San Bernardino? There were 33 school districts invited. Hesperia, Ontario had buses bringing families and students down. But there was no sign of Rialto, except for the reunion of the people who were at Rialto that are now either moved up or lateral positions elsewhere. It was great seeing them, but I was sad to see that Rialto wasn't represented right here in our backyard. There were over 46 vendors there that represented from cradle all the way through. The Mexican consulate, there was DBH there doing Narcan trainings, giving out samples. There were so many vendors there. Couldn't our families have benefited from that? They provided breakfast for everyone there, over 700 participants. And they all got to walk through the campus and go into the Coyote cafeteria thing with all the different foods, and all you can eat, every single person there. How does Rialto, why did we miss that? And I know for a fact they were invited. I asked. I'm like, wait a minute, why is Rialto not here? So it was kind of sad. I was a vendor for where I work, and I'm like, wait a minute, I only see the people that I knew that used to be here. Last board meeting, I seen that we sent people off to USC, a football game. That's awesome. I don't know how that transportation was paid for or not, but here we had this event in our backyard. We could have sent families there if that was even possible. I'm not going to go into details, but in the past, I've sent emails to board members, and nothing makes you feel like you're less than somebody never responding to you. It makes you feel like, well, that's not good, so why should I respond? When we go and we volunteer at a school, We're not expected anything but to there to volunteer and do what we need to do. So it's very hurtful to think, okay, well, I get it, I'm in this position, but yet I'm not worthy of a response.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maisha Calloway.
Right. Good evening, board, school board, President Lewis, innovation team, Dr. Avila, and the viewing audience. I'm Maisha Calloway, a proud reading specialist here at the Rialto Unified School District. I want to give a big thank you to CSEA for coming out and standing strong with REA tonight as we're all out here working for better pay and a raise. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, but I decided to come on down. What I wanted to say is that I've worked at many sites throughout the years, as a lot of you guys know, and I've worked with so many stellar teachers that I've watched work during the day, after school, running our clubs and our programs. A lot of that was shown last night at the Strategics event, which was awesome. And I want to just make sure that everyone remembers that if it wasn't for our teachers, we wouldn't have all of these awesome things going on for our students. They're the ones that work hard through the day and hard through the afternoon to make sure that our students excel at other things besides academics. It really breaks my heart that these teachers are working so hard, and we know that things have been really tough after COVID. Everyone knows that, and many things have changed. It also breaks my heart to know that we've had such a positive relationship with the school district, and it seems like things have kind of changed this school year. I'm really hoping that you guys can stand with us, CSEA and REA, and make sure all of the teachers, all of the members, and CSEA as well get what we deserve in pay. It's really rough out here. We do want to make sure that these new teachers are still attracted to teaching and that they want to stay here in Rialto. As I was saying, I had a awesome time last night at the Strategics, seeing the e-labs at the different schools, the gardens, and just everything that we have going on. It really made me excited, and I was like, Rialto was good back in my day a few years ago when I was in high school, but just to see all the amazing things going on and just knowing that these are our members that are running these events. They're the ones that are here for our students. So please remember that. Please remember that we would love extra pay, but we are here to serve the students and the community of Rialto. And we're really hoping that we can get this relationship back on track and keep us moving forward and going where we need to go. So I appreciate you guys, and one thing that I would like to say thank you about is the new technology. When I was serving as REA president, the teachers spoke, the reps spoke, and they said, hey, we need technology. You guys, Dr. Avila and the team, let us know. We have to wait, Maisha, until it rolls over, but
Thank
we
you.
love it. Thank you. Everyone
Thank
have
you.
a good night.
Michael Montano.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start with a quote from Sean Brown Brumfield. The future of humanity and our world is at the mercy of our schools. The education of our youth defines the continued success of our country. Ms. Lewis, thank you for the encouraging words last meeting to just be real and authentic. You are correct that you all as a board only get about 300 per meeting, not like the School Board of Los Angeles Unified that gets paid up to $125,000 a year. But LA Unified has over 460,000 students versus Rialto's 25,000 students. And LA Unified has over 780 schools versus Rialto's 29 schools. LA Unified has 18 times more students than us, yet our superintendent has gotten paid as much and sometimes more than LA Unified superintendent. Our superintendent has gotten paid more than LA Unified superintendent. In 2022, our superintendent got paid over $403,000, and that's before benefits. Our superintendent now gets paid more than the President of the United States of America. More than the President of the United States of America. More than the President of the United States of America. Our superintendent's pay and benefits have basically doubled in 6 years. The superintendent pay in 2017 was just under $212,000 and just over $30,000 in benefits. In 2022, it was over $403,000 in total pay and an additional $77,000 in benefits. And five of the last 6 years, our superintendent has received double-digit pay increases. In 5 of the last 6 years, double-digit pay increases. I don't believe any time within the last decade have our USD employees asked our board and our superintendent for a double-digit increase, when several surrounding districts have gotten a double-digit settlement, when our superintendent has gotten a double-digit pay increase for 5 of the last 6 years, when you have hundreds of people coming to ask for what's only fair, when you have been told that the district doesn't have money to later be told, we have the money, but we want to spend it on programs instead. Please listen to all the people who have showed up, and in your hearts, hear the ones that were too afraid to come or just couldn't make it. This year, a double-digit settlement is fair. Too many times, our district has done a poor job of rolling out programs. Too many times, our programs last but 2 or 3 years. Too many times, we have not invested in our people. If we have to, let's choose people over programs. This is for the board information from Transparent California. All you got to do is click the link, and I also emailed you that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie Lopez.
Good evening, board, guest, and Dr. Avila. My name is Stephanie Lopez, and I am a freshman at Carter High School and a TK student at Dollahan. I want to first give a special thanks to Casera admin and staff, Dr. Burciaga, Mrs. Tina Brown here at the district, Mrs. Brantley, for ensuring my child had a safe and amazing 8th grade year after such a traumatic 7th grade year. And special thanks to Mrs. Cuevas, Ms. Pearsons, and Ms. Brava, and all of Rivers' other teachers. So on that note, I'm also here to show my support and advocate for all teachers in this district. I'm sure everyone who's raised or is raising a child believes their children are priceless and want the very best for their kids. So why not the same for their teachers? Without them, who else would be there to not only teach our children, but offer them a safe haven, including emotional and social support? They are truly more than teachers. They are a vital lifeline in not only our children's lives, but have been one in all of our lives at one point in time. So for that, they're priceless in my eyes and deserve what they're worth. Thank you.
Carlos Llanes.
Good evening. Good evening, board members, President Lewis, Superintendent Dr. Avila. My name is Carlos Llanes. I'm the ed specialist at Fitzgerald Elementary. I stand before you this evening to represent what I consider the backbone of special education, and that's our support staff. My team of BSAs, or behavioral support assistants, ensure that I can effectively teach my caseload of 7 students with special needs. Since our program, it's a new program, since our program began in January of this year, 3 out of 8 students have been mainstreamed into gen ed classrooms, and 1 has gone full gen ed. Our success is due to their diligent work, and in spite of all of the hits, kicks, punches, chairs being thrown, injuries they sustain, and being spit at every day. Excuse me. They have a commitment to their job, and they do it with grace, tenacity, and loving hearts. They are highly qualified and skilled professionals. They deserve a competitive salary, a competitive wage. So that's why, so sorry, it was written by hand. They deserve a competitive raise. In the 3 years that I've worked for Rialto, I've seen scores of aides leave the district to go to other districts like Fontana for a more competitive rate. We cannot afford to lose our support staff. Students' safety will be compromised. Like I mentioned, it's a highly aggressive environment for many of our classrooms with special needs. A double-digit raise will help keep our staff in Rialto. A double-digit raise is not just an increase in wages, but a gesture of appreciation and respect from a district that values its employees' commitment to its students. So I ask the board to please join REA and SEA and come to the table and end our long negotiations and settle on a double-digit raise. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sandra Gomez.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Good evening. My name is Sandra Gomez, and I work as a substitute teacher for the school district. I'm here today with the intention of discussing the possibility of reinstating my long-term assignment for the vacant Mod Severe ATP class at Myler High School. I had the privilege of working in this role from August 8th to September 1st, 2023, and I was open to extending my assignment due to the district's difficulty in immediately filling the position. However, on Wednesday, August 30th, I received a call from personnel notifying me that they could not extend my assignment because my substitute credentials limitations restrict me from serving as a substitute teacher for the same teacher, as a sub for the same teacher no more than 20 days during the school year. In my brief time in this classroom, I witnessed remarkable student progress and positive response to my presence in the classroom. Our strong rapport created a nurturing and conducive learning environment. I'm honored to have been part of their educational journey, and many staff members noted significant student progress during my tenure. As you are all well aware, consistency is crucial in effective special education. Rotating through different substitute teachers every 20 days is undoubtedly going to have detrimental impact on these students, hindering their progress and causing unnecessary disruptions in their learning environment. My wavering commitment to these students compels me to actively pursue every possible opportunity to continue being in this classroom and delivering uninterrupted support to them. Therefore, I would like to make two different requests today. I kindly request your consideration and an exception to the credential limitation due to the unique circumstances surrounding this ATP vacancy, where I provided essential support and continuity for students with special needs without substituting for a specific teacher. I found a potential solution to our situation, the short-term staff permit. This permit is designed to allow employing agencies to fill acute staffing needs when local recruitment efforts have been exhausted and a fully credentialed teacher cannot be found. The application for this permit must be submitted by the employee agency. Therefore, I kindly request your assistance in initiating this permit application process on my behalf. Securing this permit will ensure ongoing support and stability for our students, avoiding the disruption of rotating sub-teachers every 20 days. I am confident that you will make the decision that best serves our students, ensuring that they receive the consistent and dedicated support that they deserve. It is my hope that your decision will not marginalize this vulnerable group further, but instead empower them to reach their full potential. Thank you kindly for your understanding and consideration this evening.
Thank you.
Brooke Alcocer.
Good afternoon, Is this good? Sorry.
Yes, you can raise it.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd first like to thank you all for your time and the opportunity to be here with you. My name is Brock Alcocer, a student from Eisenhower High School. Every morning, the school provides students with breakfast around 9:30, and along with their nutrition, students listen to the morning announcements. sorry. Whether it be talking about random sports, the Spirit Day of the Week, or just some random club promotions, the announcements influence the discussion of the campus and give students a sense of community. Although, I'm sorry.
It's okay, you're fine. Take a deep breath.
Although we do have issues with that, that's not necessarily my purpose here today. Rather, I'd like to quote these run-of-the-mill announcements. We are Ike. We have integrity, we have kindness, and we have eagerness to learn. These are our core values. And as a student, I feel that I take them very sincerely. However, we do have an issue. This eagerness is something that I like to focus on for today because from the perspective of a regular student, this eagerness to learn is no longer there. So I ask the board, why is that? From the perspective of someone who is a student, it is apparent that no matter the amount of pep rallies, student activities, or incentives will truly motivate students to take an interest in learning. Rather, it's the teachers who work around the clock and are here not only to educate, but push students to a new height. Is it not an insult to give teachers nothing less than an 8% increase in their salary in accordance to the importance of their roles, which is to positively influence the future? As time continues to pass and more motivated teachers are leaving our district behind to transfer to places that pay more in accordance to the cost of living, examples being one, Miss Riley is senior English teacher, which has run the school's newspaper, gardening club, as well as our own congressional debates. Miss Tercio is a sophomore English teacher, which used to be our speech coach and which has helped me find the courage to stand here today. Miss Waterbury, a sophomore A-push teacher, who has encouraged me to pursue my career in education. As so many more that I've never had the opportunity to interact with. With the yearly starting pay of $60,803 and the salary needed for one person living in Rialto being $78,715 and a family of 4 being $173,985, it is apparent that with the status quo, there will not be a new influx of teachers who are motivated to teach their students. Without motivated teachers, how must the student be expected to truly be motivated? The verdict is undeniable. This teacher raise wouldn't even be much of a teacher's raise, rather just catching up with the cost of living here in Rialto. In consideration of the current concern, this increase is necessary, not only for the teachers, but as for the students. Thank you all for your time. My name is Brecca Alcocer from Eisenhower High School. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Joseph Leon.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Leon, and I'm a senior at Eisenhower High School. Yes! I feel like my experience learning at Eisenhower has come under many stresses from all different directions, especially with COVID putting my class in distance learning in our freshman year. However, the issue hindering us now more than ever, especially in our more advanced, experimental, and specialized classes, is the severe lack of qualified accredited staff. I've seen the prior board meeting which took place on the 13th of September, and I remember a showcase presenting the fruits of new and soon-to-be projects updating our curriculum, like exciting lessons at Myers Elementary on coding and programming, theme park-like animatronics, which showed off all kinds of expensive-looking hardware, if I were to cite my own experience, Eisenhower High School itself is going under massive renovation. It's tearing apart a lot of old buildings and replacing it with giant new ones, all with new facilities, which I can't imagine was very cheap either. This kind of innovation is important, but instead of gushing over the new toys we can put in our elementary schools, or how we can make our campuses look new and pretty, we need to focus on the fact that in the most pivotal time of my class's lives, we can't get an accredited qualified teacher for our basic STEM pathways like nursing. The time when we are preparing to go to college and join the workforce, nursing students, AP students, engineering students, students just trying to finish their credits for their regular classes, have not had an actual teacher in their classroom since the beginning of the year till a week or two ago, till even this day. I have friends in nursing who are passionate about the field, who have to deal with the fact that this opportunity, which has been promised to them, becomes more and more unlikely every day they don't have a teacher. The main issue here is how unattractive Rialto Unified is to new hires and the teachers who are still working here to this day. Teachers have one of the most important and most difficult jobs in the world, and it puts them in through constant trials and tribulations. Why would a new teacher look at us, see how difficult it would be to teach in Rialto, along with how low they'd be getting paid, and not decide to work somewhere else for better pay and better facilities? We shouldn't be asking our teachers to endure financial hardship because they decide that we, the students of Rialto Unified, matter enough to come to our schools. I'd ask why this has been allowed to go on for so long, but it's evident that the members of the school board and their constituents just don't care enough to invest in our future. And I hope that you prove me wrong and
Thank you.
Take this into consideration.
Thank you so much.
Laura Dean.
Good evening, President Lewis, Honorable Board, Dr. Avila, and viewing audience. I'm Laura Dean, back again for another week at the microphone from Jehu Middle School, also the REA, one of the REA Middle School directors, many titles. I have 3 facts this evening, just 3, short and sweet. Just to piggyback on what Michael Montano had said, Dr. Avila has had a 53% raise in 7 years. Teachers, 23. The COLA is not a flop. It's not funding for lead agents or programs. It is also not a raise. It's a COLA. It's a cost of living adjustment. And let me just remind you that the fact is that the cost of living has gone up 8% just this year. The third fact, we were compared to Jack-in-the-Box workers last week. My phone blew up before I left the parking lot, with misconceptions that I would like to clarify. Here are the facts. Teachers don't get vacations. We work 184 days a year. That's what we get paid for. But we work more than that. We work we work holidays, and we work weekends. That's what we work. Just something to think about. Just the facts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Cristina Marroquin.
Hello, board, Dr. Avila, innovation team, viewing audience. So I'm here as a way to show, I'm hoping, some sort of solidarity. So just yesterday, I saw an article written by a professor of educational leadership and policy at the University of Florida, who talked about middle ground in terms of positive behavior intervention supports versus more punitive. And so putting politics aside, trying to find middle ground between different arguments and trying to find that middle ground. In addition, what goes on our campuses is more than just what we do control here at our schools. It's a lot of the societal factors are being brought onto our campus, thus that we are having to work with. So the animosity that I'm seeing, hearing between the teachers and admin, between the union and board, it is disheartening to me. I have a Doctor of Education in Organizational Leadership with an emphasis in Instructional Leadership. I specifically studied teachers' organizational commitment. And what it takes to get those teachers' organizational commitment, according to the research, is collaboration, a positive working environment. So if teachers feel undervalued, that's not a positive working environment. So like students, and as you have asked us teachers to change our practices to be more positive and proactive, doing more interventions versus punitive. Teachers are people too. So there are positive PBIS strategies that administrators can use for teachers as well. So if us as teachers, if we're not okay, how can we be okay for our students? Just like the idea of the oxygen mask on an airplane. So for some positive acknowledgments from what I've seen on the district side, I have seen more PBIS implementation. I have seen the district asking teachers for their input in what's going on their campuses, and the district has also been providing trainings for us. However, the trainings we're receiving are more of this sit and get type of professional development, similar to how we're asked not to just stand and lecture, and having more engaging lessons. So there are more up-to-date current professional development strategies that are more interactive, that allow systematic implementation that is more effective. So we do have a lot of knowledgeable administrators, but how, just like our teachers, but it's how things are implemented determines its effectiveness. Teachers want to do well. With the right supports and not being criticized for poor results, that's not going to lead to obtaining our organizational goals. So my ask is to consider the PD practices that are being implemented with more positive direct communication with teachers rather than these sit and get PDs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Samalud Rodriguez.
The perks of being short, right? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Or I can just use my teacher voice. All right.
No, you can use the mic so
the
they can
mic?
pick it
Okay.
up online.
All right, sorry. This was like a last minute decision, but good evening to everyone and the audience at home. My name is Samalu Rodriguez, and I am actually a product of the Rialto School District. I attended Trapp Elementary, Casera Middle School when it first opened, and graduated from Eisenhower High School in the year 2000. Yes, I'm aging myself. It's okay, I'm proud. I began working as a paraprofessional that same year after I graduated, and now I'm currently a teacher at Eisenhower, where I have been for the past 10 or 11 years. So why do I share all this with you? I think it's important for us to retain our educators, especially those of us who are homegrown, because we love to give back to our community. Our district alumni, so whether we've graduated from Eisenhower, Rialto, Carter, because yes, Carter's been around that long now, right? When students have teachers who not only look like them, but that come from their neighborhoods and live there, it makes a tremendous difference because now they feel connected. Now they're invested. They see someone who's made it and they're like, ooh, I can do it too. And that's exactly what we want. So to further support my point, I just wanted to share a message with you that I received from an alumni who I had as part of my Pacific Islanders Club, who I will refer to as Manny. And just to kind of remind you what it is that is so special about us as educators and our support staff and essential staff. He was a student who was being courted by the street life, and we almost lost him to the streets. He was thinking about dropping out, but I flash forward, and this is what he shared with me. I have been wanting to tell you that everything you have ever taught me and talked to me about, all those life lessons you gave me about picking myself up and always being kind to others, I passed them on when I was in the military. I've been wanting to thank you for that because I've used all those things to become as great of a leader as I could be. Even now that I'm out, I still get calls and texts from people who used to be my soldiers, thanking me for helping them become great leaders. You helped create the next generations of soldiers because of all the things you taught me and showed me. So I would like to thank you for that. I always told my soldiers about you as well. So I'd like you to know that you changed a lot of lives because of what you showed me, Miss R. Thank you. Sorry for the text at this time. It was kind of late. I just been wanting to let you know that for a while, how influential you were to me and how you managed to help so many others indirectly. Thank you, Miss R. You're like a mom to me. For all the previous Mannies and all the future Mannies to come, I implore you, please invest in your educators and essential staff so we can continue planting the seeds of integrity, kindness, and eagerness to learn. We give up a lot of our own time. I do Pacific Islanders on my own. I don't ask for any kind of stipend or nothing. And I put in about as much time as VAP puts in. And it's all just to give the students a safe place, a safe space where they can feel nurtured and loved and understood. So I really hope that y'all take this personal testimony into consideration because we need to look out for the future Mannies of our world.
Thank you.
Sean Hampton.
Good evening, board. Dr. Avila, President Lewis. My name is Sean Hampton. I'm a counselor at Eisenhower High School. Before I start, there are several things I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to limit to just one or two items. First, I want to give a shout out to our students from Eisenhower who came to speak. Tremendous courage, knowledge, and just to have them come up in this atmosphere and do that, my hat goes off to them. And so greatly appreciative of them. I could come up here and talk about a million things for me, but I'm choosing to do what those students did. They chose to come up and do something that was selfless. And so I'll just quote selfless from the OED, or Oxford English Dictionary. Selfless is, the definition is someone who's concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than with their own, than one's own. Unselfish, okay? We all witnessed, heard, seen the demonstration by REA, CSA, and so, of course, I'm here to talk about money and the negotiations. But instead of actually talking about money and what I need and what will do me better, or even my colleagues and peers, I want to talk about a different type of money. And so I want you all to flash back until 1996. And a previous colleague of mine dated theirself. I remember where I was in 1996. Just graduated high school in 1995. And one of the top movies at that time was Jerry Maguire. And there's a famous scene in there where Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character says to Tom Cruise's character, "Show me the money." So I'm going to say, show me the money, but not for me or for my contract. I want to talk about the ESSER funds, or what most people know as the COVID funds. As of March 31st, I was able to look up some data. Rialto Unified School District received $67,506,990. As of March 31st of this year, we had spent $11,794,699, or 17.4%. Of the $67,506,990,000, 20% of those funds must be spent on learning setbacks or lost learning. The other 80% is general funds. As of March 31st, 4,282,781,000, or 7.93% of those general funds had been spent. I see my time is up, but I believe
Thank you.
This
Thank you
needs
so
to be
much.
made transparent. And our district needs to know where that money needs to go.
Thank you so much,
I know,
sir.
I got a few seconds.
Thank you. Thank you
And I
so
will
much.
say-
Thank you so much.
And I will just say this, this is my last
Thank
sentence.
you so much,
In
sir.
the immortal words of a great
Excuse
poet,
me.
Sean Carter, men
Secu-
lie, women lie, numbers.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to remind the 3 minutes. We still have to have our unions to speak for 5, and this way everyone get to speak, or we'll have to go to just 20 minutes on one topic. So we prefer to hear everyone in their individual voice. So if we can just hold to that.
Noel Kreider.
Hi, good evening, board members and members of the community. I'm Noelle Kreider. I've been a teacher in Rialto for 34 years. For the young people in the crowd, that was before the internet. I am a product of Rialto schools. My dad and I both graduated from Eisenhower. My daughter and her husband graduated from Carter, and their son, my grandson, is now a student here in Rialto. That's 4 generations of my family here in Rialto schools. Here's another fact that shows my age. When I got my teaching degree at Cal State San Bernardino, I was able to pay for it with a part-time job working less than 20 hours a week. You can't do that anymore. I got my degree as part of my 4th year, something else they don't let teachers do anymore. Teachers are now required to complete a 5th year, which costs even more. When I was hired, I was in the first column of our pay scale because I only had 4 years, and I made more than a friend who was hired in Redlands on the 2nd column because he had the 5th year. Our teachers, our new teachers, have to pay more for college now and are making less if you adjust for inflation. And the job has never been more challenging. In my 34 years, this is the first year I was physically assaulted by a student, a 2nd grader. I had a 3-inch diameter bruise for 2 weeks. The student was back in my room 15 minutes later, and I welcomed him. I am not alone in this experience, as I'm sure you know. We are dealing with so many more students who have experienced trauma. We are doing our best to love them and teach them. I love Rialto, and I am a passionate teacher. Please help us continue to attract passionate teachers for many years to come. Rialto is a wonderful community and deserves the best teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please forgive me if I mispronounced it. Is it River Rose Lopez?
All right, can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, board. My name is River Lopez, and I am a freshman at Carter High School. I'd like to start this evening by explaining exactly what teachers have done for me. By 2nd grade, I was reading at a 6th grade level, and by 6th grade, I was reading at a high school level. From my reading growth stemmed a love of reading and writing, which has led me to want to write my own stories and songs as a career, which I am pursuing now. Not only have all of my teachers been there academically, but they were there for me when I was at my lowest mentally. You may remember me from 2 years ago as a 7th grader talking about how I was bullied, which caused me to self-harm. I didn't realize it at the time, but now, 2 years later, I can say proudly that my teachers saved my life. My teachers convinced me to stick around and push. My teachers convinced me to stick around and pushed me to get the help I needed. I'm a high schooler now, and I still email all my teachers to keep up with them. Teachers deserve more. They taught me how to grow mentally and academically. To me, teachers are priceless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mercedes Perez.
Can you give one of these to the board member?
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Avila, and members of the audience. I'm sorry, I'm fighting allergies. Today I'm here to talk to you about the new standards-based grading report card. I want to start by saying that when our principal asked teachers at our site to join the pilot last year, I was excited to volunteer because many years ago, we had a standards-based report card here in Rialto, and I loved that report card. I liked the fact that I could inform parents about their students' current levels of proficiency and how they were doing at that level. However, very shortly after attending the trainings, I discovered that we were looking at a new grading system without first looking at the curriculum we were using in the classroom. I brought this to the attention of the trainers, and I was told that we would be looking at the curriculum later, and that sample assessments would be provided to serve as guides for teachers. Unfortunately, sometime in February, we were told that teachers would develop their own assessments. During the second model of training, the presenter stressed that the purpose of the standards-based report card was to communicate to parents what a student has learned. He also stated these grades could not be thought of or converted into percentages. Unfortunately, after teachers kept standards-based grades for the third trimester, they were converted into percentages and issued letter grades. At the end of last year, teachers were asked to have some sort of indicator on the report card that was geared for standards that had not been taught yet. We came back this school year to find out that the district expectation is that all standards must be assessed in the first trimester, and that if standards are not taught, that the students would receive a grade of emerging proficiency. This is a disservice to our students, but it also muddles and muddies the definition of emerging proficiency. The grade of emerging proficiency should communicate to parents that the student is beginning to show some mastery, but that cannot perform the task without teacher assistance. Nowhere in this definition does it state that the teacher has not taught the standard. We are expected to use the new standards-based grades and have been provided with rubrics to assess the students' tests in the areas of reading, writing, and math. However, we have not received any rubrics for the areas of history and science. Finally, at the end of last year, it was understood that training would continue this school year. However, very little training has been provided. Some of our schools did not provide their teachers with the training last year.
Thank you.
And have not received the training this year.
Thank you so
Please
much.
look at the report card, see what you've approved.
Thank you so much.
Melody Wen.
Hi. Thank you for having me here, for letting me speak. I want to say also thank you guys. I know there's been a lot of discussion about different things, but I was able to join the USD literacy program, and I'm really excited for that. I think it's a great investment, because I know that we're gonna be able to go home, teach our kids, and hopefully they're gonna score even better in testing, you know. But I'm here to bring attention to Hugh Banks Elementary School. Dr. O is amazing. The staff is really great on many occasions, but there are some areas where we could grow. And to be frank, you know, we're talking about teachers need raises, but if we don't grow in these areas, liabilities could happen and the district could be sued. So last Thursday, I picked up my daughter from school and her face was full of dirt. She looked disheveled. And I was like, hey, what happened? And she said, I was persecuted. And I said, wow, can you explain to me what that means? She said, you know, kids surrounded me. They pinched me and hit me. They took off my glasses. And I said, and then what happened? And she got on the floor in fetal position and said, I did this to protect myself. But once I had a chance, I kicked and pushed, and then I ran away as fast as I can. And of course, I was floored and emotional, you know. I went to talk to the teacher. She said she had no idea that happened, but that she was aware my daughter came back without her glasses. She sent kids to go find him. Okay. When I reached out to the school, of course, our principal wasn't available. She was in meetings. I did call at 1, but hadn't heard back. Friday, my husband showed up to school. My daughter, of course, didn't want to go to school, so we kept her home that day. My husband showed up first thing in the morning. The principal said, okay, we're, you know, investigating. I had called because she wanted to ask her questions to complete the investigation, and I will say that was a very disappointing phone call. We definitely need some conflict resolution training. It wasn't until I had mentioned, hey, you know what, her Theo is an attorney. and her tia is a principal at a neighboring district. I've been told the way this is being handled is not appropriate. We hung up. We both hung up hostile. I had to let her know, hey, am I bothering you? Your tone seems like I'm bothering you. And she said, no, I care about the kids. And, the weekend went over. I showed up Monday with my daughter so she could talk to her. And I will tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. She had a different attitude. She was caring. She definitely redeemed herself, and I was happy with that. But not everybody has a Theo and Thea who are professionals. This could happen to anybody, and it's not okay for kids to be scared to go to school.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Shiman Kumar.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for having us parents come and talk to you all. Yesterday's celebration for the strategic implementation of all the programs were awesome. Everyone spoke so well in their presentation, but I am here in support of my daughter, who is also a Hugh Banks Elementary student. My background is mental health and behavioral health, and my daughter also has been bullied in the past. I'm not going to go into details, but I can't think of the right word to tell you, but I'm very positive that parent involvement is very important in any kind of program for the district. However, my concern here to you guys today is what I want to know in the 2022 superintendent's message in the district family information handbook. There is a quote where it states, "We will devote special attention to developing personal responsibility among students." Now, I understand that there's a lot of children that are facing bullying. There's a lot of children that are afraid to come forward because, one, they come from different backgrounds. So it's very important for us to make sure that, we as parents are trying to do our part for the ones that do want to take part, but we also need support for our teachers to make sure that they have the resources to be able to assist with trauma-informed care, meaning you are there for the child, you are there for the teacher, you are there for the specialist who needs support. It's so important, and I would like to see these programs either initiated or improved or re-implemented if they are no longer present. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all we have.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now we'll go to public comments on the agenda item. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. And just want to remind you, we were able to have so many people speak because the majority kept to the 3 minutes. It's very important to hear your own voice and speak in your own voice. So the next group.
Nancy Ramos.
Nancy, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm really shy. I've never done this before. So what I would like to talk about is my son has autism and ADHD, and I've been told that he is approved for IEP 20 to 30 minutes a week, but since the school, and he attends Garcia Elementary, doesn't have enough funds for these programs, they're understaffed, and he doesn't even get 20, 30 minutes a week. And I do worry and I stress out that my son, because he's really intelligent, he's a really smart boy, but he just needs more one-on-one time from anyone in the IEP. And the teachers there are amazing. Ms. Gallera, that runs the IEP program, is really friendly, always throughout the year, since he got diagnosed, and I've come to find out she's been very helpful. The school's been very helpful. But it's just so heartbreaking to know that he's not getting what he needs just because the school doesn't have enough funds to help him out. And I've always grown up thinking with that saying that no child gets left behind. But I do fear that my child is going to get left behind if he doesn't have help at school. And I stress because I don't want him to. I know he's going to grow up, and I want him having a chance just like everybody else does. And knowing that he's capable of this, if he was given more of a chance, I would love that. And I don't know what we can do together to be able to provide that for him. That's what I had to say.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
That is all we have.
Oh, that's all we have. Okay. Comments from the Association of Executive Board members, Rialto Education Association, REA.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Avila, President Lewis. As the president of the Rialto Education Association, I feel very honored to represent 1,300 members, teachers, counselors, nurses, speech language pathologists. We recently began to add adult education teachers to our union as well, and thank you for helping us to do that. My job is the job of a helper. I'm trying to help my members to get the best deal we can. And I'm a person of faith. And so when I find myself in moments of conflict, I often turn to the Bible. And this morning I found a verse, 2 Corinthians 5:7. It says, "For we walk in faith and not in sight." And it got me to thinking about walk by faith, not by sight. It got me thinking about the vision of where we're headed. And I had concerns that the door was closing, right? That hearts were hardening, that positions were being dug in a way that would stop us from being able to get to a fruitful resolution. So this morning, very early, I sent a text message to Dr. Avila, and I said, "Can we speak today?" And he very graciously responded, and we were able to sit for some time this afternoon. And I felt that it was a very good conversation, that we were able to share each other's perspectives on this process, this negotiations process, and how do we bring our two sides together, because we're one family. It also reminded me of when I attended your summer strategics, and I was impressed with the theme this year. It was sports centered. And Dr. Avila was a bit of a character. I don't think I'd ever seen that side of you, but you showed up one day as Tom Landry, and then
Flores.
Tom Flores, excuse me.
Oh,
Yes,
both.
Both. And it matched because we've designed a new shirt for REA. It hasn't come in yet, but it's about Team REA, and it's this idea that we're stronger together. And so we've built a bond with CSEA and REA, and we're here asking for a double-digit settlement from you all. But we're all together. Whatever we get, you get. It goes for everybody who works in this district, and we believe that we're doing it in the best interest of children. And we've made that case to you over and over again. You heard it from many of the speakers tonight, from students talking about not having highly qualified teachers for the classes that they need. You heard it from parents talking about what they want for their kids. And of course, you heard it from my own members. And often my own members weren't even talking about our people. They were talking about the classified people, the support staff, and how that helps them to be successful in their jobs. And so I stand before you tonight to ask you to soften your hearts, to hopefully listen to what Dr. Avila shared with you from our conversation. I know that he promised me he would do that, and that you would be willing to look inside the budget that you've created and make some adjustments to say there is some room here to do some things to get these people what they deserve. And I've said this before, we believe that we deserve it more than the COLA. Right? We saw these other districts get the double digits. I shared with Dr. Avila, San Bernardino City Unified just settled their contract for 6%. 6%. You're like, oh, so they didn't get the double digits, they got 6%. Well, I did the math. If we got full 10%, we would still be behind them, which speaks to how far ahead they are, that they can take a 6% settlement this year. And if you gave us a 10, we still wouldn't be making as much by a fairly significant amount. And so these are things that weigh on my heart. And these are things that my members talk about. These are part of our values. And there's things we want to work on together, right? Today when Dr. Avila and I met, we talked about this chronic absenteeism problem in our district. 30% of our kids that miss more than 10 days, not 10 days, more than 10%. It's like 18 days of school, almost a month of school these kids are missing. How are we going to get them back? Well, I'll tell you how you get them back. It's going to have to be the teachers because we have the relationships. We know these kids, and for each individual kid, it's different. You know, and you got to know that kid, you got to know their family, you got to make that connection to figure out how you're going to get them to commit to coming back to school and build that relationship. And I want to build with you guys. We all do. We want to see Rialto be successful, but it begins with a fair settlement. It begins with listening to what we're asking for and not just saying no. And unfortunately, that's what we've heard repeatedly. We hear you stand up here and say to us, we love our teachers, but, well, everything you said before the but doesn't really matter. We need you to say we love our teachers and let's figure out how to come together to find a solution for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have the California School Employee Association, CSEA.
Good evening, Rialto Unified family. I'm Chris Cordasco, Chapter 203 President, and today I'm 50 years old.
Happy birthday. 29. Always 29.
I say that mainly because half that time ago, I was working here at Rialto Unified, and if you had told me at that point, I'd been here 2 years, that one day I would be standing here at this podium representing 1,100 classified employees, I would have told you you're crazy. I am who I am because of the education that I got right here in Rialto Unified. It is very important to me that I give back every day. I can remember sitting in a classroom at Cole Middle School, freezing to death. And ironically, here I am today, an air conditioning and heating technician, fixing those problems, right? I'm not going to repeat everything that's been said. I want to thank all the speakers tonight. We've been hitting this nail on the head a lot. I just want to pose one question to you. If 2% of our budget is going to break our budget, what's wrong? That shouldn't be. We should be able to do this. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. Communication Workers of America, CWA. Anyone check? Is she in the back? Rialto School Managers Association, RSMA. We don't see. Okay. Well, comments from our student board member, Ms. King Galazzo.
So to Joseph and Brooke from Eisenhower High School. As a student, I relate to you. I know that each day we go through challenges, but I commend you for using your voice to advocate for students and teachers. I believe having a student voice is so vital, and with that, I encourage other students to share their comments, share your concerns, because hearing each voice is what contributes to the betterment of our education. And also to River Lopez, thank you for sharing your personal statement about your experience. I agree with you that teachers are priceless. I am very grateful and appreciative for my teachers and also all the teachers who care about their students. And then to the Casera Choir, thank you for your performance. It was very wonderful. And on that note, I would like to touch on the Ritz Gala. So I attended the meeting last week, and I am beyond excited for this year's gala. The gala will give all students a chance to showcase their creativity, and in the Rialto Unified School District, we believe that everyone has a talent, and that is very much true. I was able to see some students audition, and it was a pleasure. So for all those who are planning to audition, I support you all the way. And last night was the celebration for strategic planning. I would like to thank those who organized the event, as well as everyone who attended. It was great to see a community that is enthusiastic, involved, and take pride in the education of our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member, Ms. Dominguez. Oh, Doctor, I keep looking at you and
Thank you, President Lewis. Just
You're
echoing some of
welcome.
the statements that have been made tonight, do want to thank teacher Miss Hillary No and the students who performed here from
Yes.
Sarah did an amazing job. I understand this is her first year at the school and has been able to get the students to perform at the level that they did today, so congratulations for that. Also, want to thank Dr. Rhea MacGyver Gibbs
Ooh.
and the
Just blew it out. That was very good.
And the amazing team that she put together that coordinated last night's strategic celebration. I know there were students, parents, family members, lots of teachers, classified staff, administrators. Everybody came together to really put this amazing event together to showcase the great things that are happening in our district. And there were a few things that I didn't realize we were doing to the extent that they were presented. So I do appreciate the opportunity to see some of the programs in greater depth. And thank you to Mr. Alberto Camarena, Dr. Ingrid Lin, our new internal facilitators for the Strategics program. They did an amazing job facilitating the entire presentation. But thank you so much to all the teachers and classified staff who are at the core, as it was said earlier, at the core of these programs, because it does make a difference for our students. Likewise, I want to thank Dr. Ayana Balagan and her team that she organized to put together the UCAN HBCU Recruitment Fair. A week or so ago, we had dozens of colleges present and hundreds of students that went through there, and close to $1 million in scholarships granted on that day. So congratulations.
Yes.
Now the challenge is to make sure that we follow up to encourage those students to actually attend the colleges. We know that's a different step that needs to be taken, but thank you, Dr. Balagan, for the amazing work that you did. Tomorrow, so not tomorrow, we do have 2 esports ribbon cutting ceremonies. One is tomorrow at Cove Middle School, followed by J. Hugh Middle School, scheduled for its opening on October the 26th. Again, these are programs that are there to provide students options in their career interests. And again, at the core of these programs will be those teachers facilitating the delivery of such programs. So thank you once again. Also, I want to congratulate the 150 family members who have committed to being part of the USC Family Literacy Program. There's lots of excitement. They are speaking very highly about it. Thus far, they understand the level of commitment that it will require to be successful. Again, I have challenged them not to quit along the way. We do have a team of 12 or so teachers who are there to provide all the supports to ensure that all 150 complete the program. I have reminded them that kids, when they're little, they usually follow what they see at home or what they see in adults. And so I want students of these family members who are participating to see their parents going to college so that they can follow in their footsteps. But if they quit, I don't want them modeling for students that quitting is okay.
Yeah.
So we have a very robust set of supports to encourage and guarantee that all 150 will complete the program, because as it's been stated in so many different settings, that this is an investment for the future of this community. So thank you to those families. And I do want to express, because it happens on Thursday, October the 5th, that is, it is recognized as World Teachers Day. We don't have a board meeting before that, so I want to congratulate all the teachers of the world, but especially those here in the Rialto Unified School District for the amazing things that you do. And as a reminder,
World Teacher.
Friday, October 6th, again, because no board meeting prior to, from 5:30 to 9 p.m., we will be commemorating Hispanic Heritage Month with our district's own Hispanic Heritage Festival at Chavez Huerta, starting 5:30 p.m. So hopefully we'll see you there to celebrate culture in this community. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you so much. And now,
Okay, thank you. Well, first and foremost, happy birthday, Chris. Birthdays are always fun. And thank you for all of our speakers that we had tonight. And tonight, when I was watching our presentation from Coursera, I saw Mrs. No present with so much passion, and that reflected on our students. I saw the passion that she gave off as she directed the students, and the students were amazing. But I can just see so much passion coming off of her that it just shined, and you can see the work that she's put in on her students. The reflection showed. So I just want to congratulate her in all of her hard work that she did. You know, I haven't met her, I haven't been to her class, I haven't been to Coursera, but just watching her, I was amazed. So just congratulations and thank you for all your hard work and everything that you do for our students, Mrs. Now. Last night, our strategics event was amazing. Thank you to Sunrise Church for allowing us the space, for being there. Thank you for all of our teachers that attended and were there. Thank you for being there with us and partaking and being part of our community. To all of our parents that were there, our students, our team that put the grand event, our nutrition services, the wings were amazing, and so were the cakes. I love cake. And I am excited to go see tomorrow the grand opening for Kolb's Esports Labs, because as you know, I am a bit of a gamer, a little bit. And also the UCAN event I wasn't able to attend, but I heard great things. And that's what our kids need. They need that motivation. They need that umph. They need to have that goal. And when, like Dr. Avila said, we need to keep those kids motivated and make sure that they take that opportunity for those scholarships. I also was a part of the meeting for our Golden Bell verification, and our Rialto talent is strong. I said it last board meeting, Rialto strong. Let's continue to have that Rialto strong. And as Ms. Lewis said last night, let's continue to have Rialto pride. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, and our featured speaker of the Hispanic Heritage Festival, Board Member Montes.
Thank you, Ms. President Lewis. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm not going to be the special speaker at the Hispanic Heritage Festival, but I will be a competitor at the taco eating contest. So, show your support by purchasing tickets and wearing the color of your competitor. I don't know what color mine's going to be, but is that black? Looks like black.
It's black, yeah.
All right. A lot of people like wearing black, so I'll take credit for everyone wearing black. That's a fundraiser for fiscal services?
Sharing the Love Foundation.
Sharing the Love Foundation. All right. That was the last detail I needed. But I volunteered, and I'll be there to eat tacos. I just want to thank and congratulate everybody who came out tonight. I want to just piggyback on some of the things that were already shared by some of the speakers. It's true. I think it might have been Mrs. Calloway who said that without all of those accolades and all of the great things that we've been doing, without the teachers, a lot of that wouldn't have been possible. And not just the teachers or support staff and everyone else as well, right? But particularly in the academics, particularly in the programs where teachers are first and foremost essential, we thank them. I want to just say that I think it's awesome that the county now is having their own parent summit. Wow, I never thought that our parent summit would grow so big to influence even not just neighboring districts, but even the county. So I think kudos to the county for following in Rialto School District's lead, and as far as creating their own parent summit. I don't know, is this their first year now?
Yes.
It's their first year. Sorry if we didn't know about it. We have our own parent summit here that
Family. We opened it
that
up.
we do every
Family
year.
Summit. Mhm.
I want to say we had probably about I went this year, and we had probably about, what, 2,000 participants, maybe, give or take.
And another 1,000 outside.
And
And
so,
Tony Thurman.
and so, I always like to say that at the Parent Summit, we have the majority of people who want to be there, and then you have some people that have to be there, right? Because they're working, right? So, regardless, we put our staff through a lot of work. Our district really goes above and beyond getting all these events done in the community at our schools. And to ask of them to participate in every single other parent summit that's going to pop up around the area, it might be a little too much, but I do think it wouldn't be a bad idea for us in the future to consider participating in the county parent summit or any other parent summit in the area. But I'm just glad we do our own. We've got our hands full with our own. As a matter of fact, we had special keynote speaker Vanessa Rumbles, Emmy Award-winning CNA
that's
producer at our parent summit. Last year, we had Dr. Jose Hernandez, the
Movie is
astronaut from
out.
NASA,
His
which, by the
movie's
way,
out.
Disney just came out with a movie on the guy. It's available at the theaters right now. You can go to the Renaissance and go see it over there for comfortable
Also on
chairs. But not to brag and toot our own horn about our own parent summit, right? But I just think it's wonderful that the county's now doing one of their own. And hopefully other districts in the area will also do one, because it does really bring the families out, and it means a lot to the community. So thank you, Ms. Bailey, for bringing it to our attention. I want to thank the student speakers who came to speak tonight. You know, it's good to hear from them, and thank you, Student Board Member Kane, for encouraging them to come out, you know, and speak up and share their comments. So it's always good to hear from our students. And kudos to Saida and everybody else who's in charge of who works with the DSAC students. That one of the things that they do is practice public speaking and whatnot. And, you know, and we haven't heard lately from our DSAC students, but I'm sure that we'll get them at the next meeting, most likely. So thank you. And again, to our teachers, we love you. And I'm not going to say but. We love you. We support you. And we want to have a fair and just agreement for you guys. So we'll continue to cross our fingers. We'll continue to support you guys as best as possible, and hope that both sides can come to a fair agreement for everybody. So thank you again for your words, your comments, and we'll continue to listen, and we'll continue to do as best as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Board Clerk, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, President Lewis. Last night, I did not attend the strategics extravaganza, if you will.
It was.
I was over at the Kiwanis Student of the Month Awards. The students mean a lot to me. They're the reason teachers are here. They're the reason support staff is here. Without them, nothing goes on. We're unnecessary. So I want to give you their names. Kiwanis Student of the Month from Carter, Isabel Quinones Peña.
Yes.
And Daniel Mesa. Rialto High School is Tyler Wynn and Cameron Delgado. Myler students are Abigail Guevara and Gabriel Duran. And Eisenhower, Cassandra Gonzalez, and Daniel Vega. I was able to find out that their blazers are going to be, they were fitted for their blazers, and they're still going to be navy blue. And I am just so jazzed, because when our DSAC students put their blazer on, they realize what it means to represent their peers. It's not really that they take it as a status symbol. I think it's more like the mantle of leadership being bestowed upon them. And it is really something to watch. I get to watch our student board member year after year. And I appreciate the job you're doing.
Yes.
I really enjoyed your comments tonight, as always. Negotiations are always rough. I do thank the teachers for asking the right questions of their own people. There will be an information document coming out. I don't know when it'll be available, but it has everything. One of the problems in negotiations is most people don't understand the budget. So the proper way to negotiate for people to understand it really would be to lump in everything that each district gives to their staff. That means, let's see, there's salary, there's benefits, there's retirement. Oh, let's see what else I'm missing here. Those are the big ones. We are sitting at 85 or 86% of salary and benefits out of 100% of our budget. So everything is a balance. You give too much, and they're saying cut programs. Well, students benefit from programs. So realize what you're saying. Yeah, it sounds good, but what is the cost? Biblically, since we heard a comment, there's always something that says count the cost. So everything that I've said before holds true. Look it up. When you compare other districts, compare the entire package. One thing I hear from anybody in any district, don't cut my benefits. We're not talking about that. We don't want to. We don't want to cut your benefits. But at some point, that is part of the package. And Rialto is one of the districts that has you and your family. Some say, okay, well, we'll cover the staff member, the employee, but not the family. If you want them covered, it's more. So continue to ask the important questions. You need to know, because this is your money, it's your family. We get it. But everything has to be in balance. And we are counting the cost. We want to give you everything you can and give you the respect of you making the decision. Because if we say something, it goes to the negotiating table and we agree across the table, it goes out to a vote for the members. I want to make sure that you know what you're voting for. Because too much, and it's going to cost somebody. Too little, and we're not going to be pleased because we want to make sure we can give you all we can. We've counted the cost. Thanks for all you do, every one of you, especially the birthday friend over here. Thanks for CSEA and all the stuff they do. And to every union brother and sister, loved hearing you out there. I wanted to record it and keep it. So if anyone did record it, I'd love to get a copy of it. Thanks, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Ms. Board Clerk Martinez. Well, it is Hispanic Heritage, and I'm from Cuba tonight. I'm representing the salsa queen, Miss Cecilia Cruz.
Azúcar.
Yeah, so I'm feeling very hot and spicy, I guess. But to keep things positive is, that's the motive. And as we said, Rialto Pride, I saw our Rialto do the fight song, right? So I'm going to commission our Rialto Unified to come up with their their own fight song. And I already came up with the symbol. You know, we're Rialto, Pride, Power Up. There you go. So you musicians, next time when we go to USC, they gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have our little core drums at our family summit, and we're gonna have at our festivals, we're gonna have our own site. You know, I'm like, USC, well, who's USC? We are Rialto Pride. So I am just so happy about that. Superintendent, you put pressure. I was thinking about dropping out the class. The homework was getting a little hard. Another thing, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to finish now. I have to finish. But I've learned so much. And what I've learned in the parent literacy is that our kids, they were telling us, like, you know, this is what they have to do at 3rd grade. I'm like, 3rd? I thought it was at least 7th grade. You know, that astronaut story we had to read 3 times. And I started thinking about Michael Jackson on the moon and moonwalking. And, but, you know, I was wandering. But I was saying, when we're looking at their literacy level and their iReady, it's not the same reading that we did. I thought I was going to really get some phonics in so I can pronounce some of these Hispanic last names, so I was ready. But she said no comprehension and circling with the yellow pen and question marks. And I'm like, this is very impactful. So parents, if you did not sign up for this class, we're closed right now, but you really have to go to the tutoring. These tutoring hubs and these tutoring, they're not teaching the way we taught. And if you have to be a young parent, you might catch it, but you're not catching all of it. So we have our list of tutoring with the teacher. After you do a couple, you probably can do the 24 online. But to really be with your child and to have them not struggle, start early with the tutoring. And I'm so glad that we still have that available, but we need to utilize it at 110%. Not only bring your child, but bring the child and his friend and a neighbor, because it's very important. Grandparents who are raising their kids, I know they need to be there to know, because it's very, very hard with that concept. But I'm gonna pass. Everybody in my table, you're gonna have to help. I did not tell them I was board president, and my teacher kept saying, Miss Lewis, I'm like, no, I'm Stephanie here. I'm Stephanie, you know. Are you gonna be voluntold? I'm like, no, I'm so glad we had some outgoing people that always raise their hand. I was like looking around. But I'm excited to learn. The concept is very important. My eyes are open. So when you're saying they're behind, a 3rd grader is really behind what we learned about 8th grade. You know, it's that, you know, it's really rough out there for a student. So you really need to have a teacher and tutoring and that support. So the UCAN, that scholarship money, that's just powerful. And I know a lot of your HBCUs are, you know, down south and in Texas, and people from California a little afraid about going down south, but we're friendly down there, very friendly. And really having that pair of just awareness. And I think the first thing is, if you're a student, to just get that letter that you're accepted somewhere, and then to get another letter like, we value you to give you a scholarship, that's a win right there. And so kudos, it was just great. And I think we need to continue those types. The middle school, college, that's going well, and I'm glad, Dr. D'Souza, that you are supporting those students. You know, it's one thing to sign up and say, oh, I'm doing Valley College and I'm in, you know, high school, but really that circle of support. One of the most exciting thing about last night, after I found how to get into the church, was really identifying that pathway for our classified, that enrichment, because those certifications that you have to stay on top of your technical area, they're expensive. Having that come in, having that level of expertise, electrician, there's so many different levels, even the logistics, everything's computer and scanning and coding. So having that pathways and really developing that and having the input. You know, I'm just really positive because we are right there. We are right. I mean, Rialto is going to the next level. You can feel it. You know it's there. It's just from 2 years from close to now. And that means that we did a lot of thought. We put in a lot of technology. We put in a lot of training from being closed to now. I'm excited that people are coming to the table to negotiate. You got to get to the table to break the bread. So I'm glad one call was made, the other call was, answered, and now let's just, if we're doing what, having communion or whatever, breaking that bread, having that discussion, healthy. I think the system is going through the channels of discussion. And the shoes are tight a lot of times. You got to break it in, but you have to have that healthy discussion in the format of that negotiation table. I don't think they wouldn't call it negotiation if it was easy, right? It wouldn't be a negotiation. It's like, I want this, you got it. So that part is, I'm so glad that they're both there. The other thing that grading, you can send me, a grading, but that's another thing. I'm glad that you spoke to us, but you're going to that table with you as educators to look at curriculum, to work it out, to voice your opinion, to work. I think it's very good to say, hey, we didn't have this part, to the people in your leads and your principals, and to work that, and you're going to come out better because the parents will understand, the teachers understand, and the student will have a clearer expectation. The last and final thing is, I teach on a graduate level, and in graduate school, it's sort of like you give each student so much support because you know that they're coming in with so much pressure. And I think in elementary and high school and preschool, we give students a lot of support because of 2 years, they're coming in with so much pressure. We give teachers, we might not do as good a job because we like, oh, you're adults, so you have your support system at home, right? But that's something that we have to work on changing that because they're coming in with a lot of pressure because they're dealing with a lot more things. I see it with chronic absentee because I don't even think it's chronic because they're so ill. I mean, you're out with one asthma attack, that's 10 days. So, you're lumped all together. And I think on a state level and on a federal level, we're going to have to lobby to change that definition because these illness and these allergies, you're out. You can't come with this fever. You have to be 24 hours, no vomiting, no diarrhea, no fever. So that adds up. That's easily to be chronic. And then you do have those different systems. But we're going to go through the process of the people who are most educated about the matter, the teachers, the graders, the principals, all the specialists that you have to work out that system. And then it comes to us, with the input from both. So, you know what? I put my toe into things I understand, but when things are brought to me, I have awareness. I'm like, wow, that really needs to get fleshed out and worked out. And, I'm looking at this grade, and I was like, wow, I'm having a flashback from report card. I'm like, oh my goodness, but this is a good one. So, grading and what it means. What do an A means? What was your explanation of emerging and things like that? All those definitions are very important, but it's something that you guys have to define and then sort of tell us, this is our virtual, this is how we would like to be. This is what we think is our standard that we're going to try. So, so you're eating tacos.
Yeah.
All righty. And you only have one female teacher brave enough? Is this equity?
She's actually a principal at Eisenhower.
Okay, one female.
And her husband's in the competition.
Oh, okay, so they're going to double.
We got Dr. Bruciaga in the competition.
Okay, so
I'm looking at the list right now.
2, okay. But, I see that hot dog one. Sometimes those females throw it down. But... So we're going to have to bet. So since he's a board member, I have to bet. Oh, we're not betting. I have to raffle. On everybody, right?
No book here.
Okay.
President Lewis.
I'm sorry.
May I pause a second? Kane needs to be excused.
Oh, you read Kane? All right, girl, knock it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay. I'm Cuban tonight. I thought we.
Azúcar.
All right, Ms. Martha.
Okay, We now move on to public hearing. Item D1, public information. Item D1.1, fourth quarter Williams report from April through June, fiscal year 22-23 can be found on page 23 of the agenda. Open public hearing. Any person wishing to speak in the item on the public hearing agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any speakers?
No speakers.
Okay. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And Lewis, aye.
Okay, the time is 9:05.
Okay.
And the public hearing is for sufficiency of instructional materials for the 23-24 school year and can be found on page 25 of the agenda. We move on to close public hearing. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And aye.
And the time is 9:06. We move on to consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action.
Do we have any pulls? Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, Lewis. Questions or discussions? Okay, vote by Board Member Dominguez.
Aye.
Board Member Montez.
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And aye.
And we move on to discussion action items. Item F1, award bid number 2324007 for warehouse paper stock to ODP Business Solutions, LLC, Complete Office of California Incorporated, and Contract Paper Group.
So move.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or discussions?
This item is at a cost to be determined at the time of purchase and to be paid from various funds.
Any questions or discussions? Okay, Board Member Dominguez.
Aye.
Board Member Montez.
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And aye.
Item F2, award bid number 2324008 for District Enrollment Center shade structure to Express Building Solutions Incorporated.
So move.
Second.
This item is at a cost not to exceed $355,000, which includes a $30,000 allowance and to be paid from Fund 40, reserved for capital outlay.
Questions or discussions? No? Okay. Board Member Dominguez.
Aye.
Board Member Montez.
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And aye.
Item F3, approve change order number 1 for MLC Constructors Incorporated for the 2 new portable classroom project at Myler High School.
Motion. Lewis.
Second.
This item is in the amount of $32,152.72 for a revised contract amount of $582,756.72 and to be paid from Fund 40, Special Reserve for Capital Outlay Projects.
Any questions or discussion? Have none. Board Member Dominguez.
Aye.
Board Member Montez.
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And aye.
Item F4, approve amendment number 1 to the agreement with Guidepost Solutions, LLC to complete a district-wide audiovisual renovation plan. Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Increase the contract by $66,945 for a total contract amount of $311,495 and extend the agreement for 1 year to June 30th, 2024 to assess audiovisual systems at secondary school libraries and to be paid from General Fund ELOP.
Any questions or discussions? Okay, Board Member Dominguez.
Aye.
Board Member Montez.
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez.
Aye.
And aye.
Item F5, approve a memorandum of understanding with the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. Motion?
So move.
Second.
Accept the funds from the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools in the amount of $1,759,488 for the Student Behavioral Health Incentive Program with Rialto Unified School District effective September 28, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
Any questions or discussions?
I do have a question. Is there a representative?
Angela?
I'll wait till she gets to the room to ask. Because if I ask, she's not going to.
Well, I like to make a note that we're accepting some funds.
No, I know. I want to move forward with it. I just have a question.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, accept.
I absolutely want to accept.
Okay, thank you so much.
And if it'd make a difference, I'd even amend it to double the amount.
I'm there with you.
Good evening, Angela Brantley, Lead Student Services Agent.
Mrs. Brantley, I am super excited about this fund that we're getting. I just want to know what type of programs will be serviced with this grant.
Absolutely. So in order to even receive this grant, we had to put together a program plan with the county. And so there's two initiatives that we will use these funds for. One is suicide prevention. At our secondary level, we'll be using the Signs of Suicide curriculum and having a lot of interventions that we do to support and prevention related to suicide prevention. And then the other initiative is related to drug and alcohol prevention. And so we're collaborating with the safety services area as well. And we'll be addressing those. Those are the two big buckets that we're going to use the funds for at our secondary level.
Okay, perfect. And you'll be working with safety with
Yes,
Officer
ma'am.
Gordon?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all,
Okay.
that's all I have.
Any job well done? And
yes,
just hope we, there's a lot of things that go with fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's a lot more than fentanyl, And
Yes.
so I think we need to be inclusive in our drug education.
We will deal with the variety of what we know that our kids are, experience or are enticed with. So.
Yeah, and just make sure that the preschool and elementary school, because a lot of times they pick up edibles unknowingly and the parents don't know the signs of they might have picked up a Rice Krispie treat or someone and they're getting sick and they just think they're vomiting because they're sick because they're younger. They won't even think that maybe. So it'll be a nice awareness for parents with that grant. All right, roll call vote. Thank you. Ms. Dominguez, board member. Mr. Montez.
Aye.
Mr. Martinez.
Aye.
And Lewis, aye.
Item F6, approve an agreement with PF Vision Incorporated to provide inspection services for the construction of the covered parent waiting area shade structure at the District Enrollment Center.
So moved. No more waiting in
Second.
the sun to enroll.
We're in the rain.
yes.
Provide inspection services for the covered parent waiting area shade structure at the District Enrollment Center effective September 28, 2023 through December 31st, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $154,752 and to be paid from Fund 40, Special Reserve for Capital Outlay Projects.
Any questions or discussions? Ready for the vote? Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And aye.
Item F7, adopt resolution number 232420 for National School Lunch Week.
So move.
Second.
Declare October the 9th through the 13th, 2023 as National School Lunch Week and encourages all residents to become aware and concerned about their children's and their own nutritional habits in the hope of achieving a more healthful citizenry for today and the future.
Any questions or discussions?
I'm excited about it.
Just a comment. I just, in honor of National School Lunch Week, that'll be coming up, I want to send a very special thank you to all of our nutrition service workers,
Excellent.
both at the Central Kitchen and at all of our school sites. We really couldn't do it without them. Ever since our country implemented a lunch program at the schools, our nutrition service workers have been at the forefront, making sure our kids are fed because they're not if they're hungry, they can't learn, so.
Not just the
That's
kids,
right.
the community.
All right, and I'm going to have some water in behalf of No Calories.
You can definitely say that our nutrition services are hard-working bees.
Yes.
Okay, roll call vote. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez? You
Aye.
join me on the toast there?
Yes.
Oh, and Lewis, aye.
Still thinking tacos.
Hey, come on out.
Nutrition.
I might
Okay.
need some help.
Item F8.
Tag team.
Adopt resolution number 232421, remuneration.
So move.
Second.
Excuse the absence of Board Vice President Nancy G. O'Kelly from the Wednesday, September 13, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
Nancy, Vice President O'Kelly, we thinking of you. Your seat is here, safe recovery, and you're always a part of the team. I know you're watching. Any other?
Oh, yeah, just also, Ms. O'Kelly, to continue to heal and put her health first and not worry about a thing over here. We holding down the fort. And best thoughts and prayers for speedy recovery.
Well said.
We miss you, Miss O'Kelly. I miss you.
Okay.
Likewise, ditto.
All right. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And Lewis? Aye.
I miss her laugh.
Item F9. Adopt resolution number 232422, remuneration. Motion.
So move.
Second.
Excuse the absence of Board Clerk Joseph W. Martinez from the Wednesday, September 13, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
Any questions or discussions? No, just fine. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Abstain.
Okay, and aye.
We miss you too, Mr. Martinez.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I miss you too.
It's good to be
Item
nice.
F10. Adopt resolution number 232423, sufficiency of instructional materials.
So move.
Second.
For the 2023-2024 school year, the Rialto Unified School District has provided each pupil with sufficient standards-aligned textbooks and instructional materials consistent with the law, adoption cycles, content of curriculum frameworks, and state advisories.
Any questions or discussions? Okay, ready for the vote. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And aye.
Item F11, administrative hearing. Motion
So moved.
Second.
for case number 2324-6.
Okay, let's roll call vote. Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Member Martinez? Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And Board Lewis, President, nay.
Okay, we move on to adjournment. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on October 11th, 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Dr. John Casalunas Education Center at 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meeting are available upon request from the Superintendent's Office. Motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, Board Member Dominguez?
Aye.
Board Member Montez?
Aye.
Board Clerk Martinez?
Aye.
And aye, and the time is, I can't see anymore. 9:19. Thank you.